All right, just a quick disclaimer to any of my friends who might be watching this and might be thinking, what on earth is this video? Not that my videos have any real consistency anyway, but just so you know, I'm fine, I'm all right. This is just another video idea I had, just something to talk about and try and help, just put it out there, because I think if you've been through something, that you should try and share what you've learned with people in whatever way you can. And obviously with me, it's through a video. And even if one person sees this and it helps them, I'll be really happy. And even if no one sees it, it's all right. Just try and help. Try and put what you've learned out there, just in case could help people one day. So that's basically what this is for. And it's already been a minute, I know. I'll try my absolute best. I know this is a rather serious topic and I want to try and explain it the best I can to help people the best I can. So I'll try my absolute best to stay focused and stay on topic and not meander about or ramble. And yeah, I've got the things written down, so hopefully it'll go fine. See you in the main video. One thing that I discovered that was very helpful to me is that you don't try to the best of your ability. I know they can be very annoying and but try to the best of your ability to not engage with the thoughts, because there's basically no point to it. Because if you start arguing the thought, saying, oh, you're wrong, that's things like that, and just basically having an argument in your head, then it just goes on and on and on, because it's like it's a cycle. So it just keep coming up with more and more things. And so just don't try and engage with the bad thoughts to the best of your ability. Don't like get into an argument with them. I know I did that a lot. I was like, why do I have these, and I was just like, get out of here, that's just a bunch of nonsense. And the more I just tried to fight them, it just keep going on and on and on, and it just come up with more and more things. And excuse me, it's just no point in trying to argue with them. So just try not to engage with them if you can, and understand that they're simply not true. I mean, the other biggest thing that helped me was that they're just nonsense, which let me try that again. One thing that I discovered that was very helpful to me is that you don't try to the best of your ability. I know they can be very annoying and but try to the best of your ability to not engage with the thoughts, because there's basically no point to it. Because if you start arguing the thought, saying, oh, you're wrong, that's things like that, and just basically having an argument in your head, then it just goes on and on and on, because it's like it's a cycle, so it just keep coming up with more and more things. And so just don't try and engage with the bad thoughts um to the best of your ability. Don't like get into an argument with them. I know I did that a lot. I was like, why do I have these, like, and I was just like, get out of here, that's just a bunch of nonsense. And the more I just tried to like fight them, it just keep going on and on and on, and it just come up with more and more things. And excuse me, it's just no point in trying to argue with them. So just try not to engage with them if you can, and understand that they're simply not true. They're just nonsense. They're just trying to get you to believe something bad about yourself, which is just not true. I mean, being completely honest with you, not a single one of them, which I've when I was dealing with them, now that I look back, not a single one of them was true in any way, shape, or form. So I know it's hard to like not pay attention to them, but if you can just understand that they're not true, because some people, they generally might not know, they might just believe them, but I promise you it's just nonsense. From what I've been through, what I've dealt with them, they're just not true. They're just plain and simply not true. And they cannot decide. They can't decide what you do. At the end of the day, they are just thoughts. That's another good thing to understand, that they're just thoughts. The only way they have an effect over you is, if you pay attention to them, you start getting like worried over them and start like listening to them. That's the only way they have any real effect, because they're just thoughts. They can't decide what you do or who you are. They might try and convince you to do certain things, or convince you like you're someone you're not, or like you could do bad things or whatever nonsense. But it's just not true. And at the end of the day, you're still the one in control. So yeah. And plus, if it was true, kind of the whole thing doesn't make too much sense, because if it was true, why would it be why would it be trying so hard to convince you that it's true? But another good thing is, as happened with me, as you're not saying, you're quite a tricky thing to say, but I'm not saying necessarily, well, understand that what you call intrusive thoughts are normal. That's just how the brain works. Everybody gets them. But it's just, if they're constant, like all the time, and they're like really bad, then that's when there's probably something going on. But don't judge yourself for them, because the whole point of them, them being intrusive, is that you can't control them. So no point in judging yourself for them, about them, for having them, because everybody gets them to a certain extent. And usually they make an appearance when you're going through like a bad time or a tough time or like a dark spot in your life, you're very stressed, or when you're more prone to believe in them, that's when they show up. But if as your mental state improves, and you know you just improve your situation, then they will fade away. That's what happened to me. They will fade away. But remember, it's a process. I most of the time I really wish I had something where I could just click my fingers and make all them all go away, but that's just not how it works. And I mean, it can't be a good thing, because if you did that, then how would you wouldn't learn from them, would you? I'm kind of grateful I went through that, because now I can use what I learned to try and help people, at least. So yeah. Another big thing is, I know this might sound tricky again, but just try and be okay with them. Like, say if a thought comes in, just like just be like, okay. Or I'd just be like, or don't take them too seriously, but don't argue with them. I remember I'd be like, well, I can sort of see where you're coming from, but it's not true because this and this and this. And I don't know if that's the best, it's a way to handle them, just break them down and just be like why it's not true, but don't argue with them, because as I said, it'll just go on and on and on. But don't try not, to the best of your ability, try not to take them too seriously. Another thing I remember is, if I got a really bad thought, I'd just be like, oh, sod off, Noddy, I'm not buying what you're selling. I know who I am, and I will not be letting you affect me today. So, something like that. If you can just try not to take them too seriously. I know that might be hard, because they are I mean, what they're saying is probably very serious, but just no point in taking them too seriously, because remember, you're still the one in charge of your brain, in charge of your actions, or in charge of your mind, in charge of who you are and what you do and all that. So yeah. If they're telling you, like, I know another type is, they're like trying to discourage you. Say, for example, something that I do. Say if there's like an intrusive thought and it says, "Oh, you're awful at drawing," then I'd just do a drawing, and then it'd go away. But sometimes there'd be another one saying, "Oh, well, it's not a good drawing, though, is it?" But then I'd be like, okay, let's test that then, shall we? So I go and ask people, what do you think of it? And they'd be like, it's good. And so, is it really? So is it actually bad then, though? If people are saying it's good, is that it actually, and then your thought saying it's bad, is that it actually being it bad? apologies, is that it actually being bad, or is that just your thoughts telling you it's bad? Sure, they might be like, oh, they're just trying to be nice, but it's just lies anyway, no matter what. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what your thoughts think. It matters what you think. And that might seem a bit strange because some people feel like, their thoughts are not them, or they're not theirs. And I felt like that as well. They're just trying to basically convince me I was a bad person or whatever, or, wasn't who I actually was. So just don't pay attention to that, because that's when they start to really affect you in a bad way, is when you start believing them. Anything else? Well, the other thing would be, I know I tried a lot to like figure out the source, and I'd be like, okay, why is this happening? Let's find the source of it and let's get rid of that. And I think basically the reason for me was, I was just going through a bad time, and I started to believe negative things about myself, so I let the thoughts creep in. And then obviously because I wasn't feeling too good just about everything, let alone myself, then I was more prone to letting them in and believe them. Whereas now I'd be like, that's just not true. So if there's anything you think might be behind it, try to let go of any fears that might be causing it. Don't believe them, don't believe the thoughts, and don't give them power. Try your best not to let them affect you. Because I think if I'm being honest, it's just a result of a bad mental state, because, as I started becoming myself again and, becoming happier and doing what I loved again, then it is a process, it takes time. But the more I did that, they faded away, and now I basically have none. So just work on making things better, and just, don't let them discourage you from doing what you enjoy, because by doing what you enjoy, that's a thing that's going to make you happier. That's a thing that's going to make them go away. So obviously they're going to be like, oh, don't do what you enjoy, it's awful, you're bad at it. Because, it's like it's a bit like a mental program. It's not like, or like, would it be weird if I called it like a brain virus? Don't worry, it's not a brain virus at all. I'm just trying to describe it like it will try to perpetuate itself. So as soon as you start doing something that might like disprove it, or like make them go away, it'll start attacking it. They are part of your brain. No, I'm making it sound like a bit like it's something sentient or intelligent that is attacking you. It's not. It's just part of your brain, and your brain is clever, and it can't work against itself. So they're my main tips, really. I'd say I would say that the most, I think that's everything I want to say, mainly, but the most important thing is, now obviously, with all of the other things, to the best of your ability, because I know they can be very annoying and also very upsetting sometimes, depending on what they are. So obviously they're gonna get your attention and get you riled up and stuff like that, but that's just what they're trying to do. So that's their job, you could say. That's the job of intrusive thoughts. But I'd say the most important thing of all, to the best of your ability, is don't let them affect you, or at least try your best not to let them affect you in a big way, because at the end of the day, they're still in your brain. They're still ultimately, even though you can't control them, happening necessarily, though you can gradually learn to, make peace with them and they'll fade away. But they are still ultimately under your control, because it's your mind, it's your brain, and they do not decide your actions, and they absolutely do not decide who you are or who you want to be at all. So please don't believe that. If they're telling you, oh, you're a bad person, don't believe that, because all it's doing, think about it, if it's saying you're a bad person and that's a lie, then it's just showing you're actually a good person. And if you were actually a bad person, why would it be trying so incredibly hard to argue and convince you that you're a bad person? Because if you were genuinely a bad person, you wouldn't care about the thoughts. So really, at the end of the day, unless you let them, can they stop you from being yourself? Not really. No, in fact. Can they stop you being happy and enjoying yourself? No. So just don't let them. Because remember, they can only have any of these bad effects if you allow them to, if you pay attention to them, if you believe them. That's the only way they can have any real effect on you at all. So just try your best to, might sound hard, deal with them, make peace with them. If you can, I'd say the best thing to do out of anything would to be ignore them. But I know that's extremely tricky. So just don't let them stop you from, being happy, doing the things you enjoy, being yourself. Don't let them second guess yourself. Don't let them let you second guess yourself, or if you're worried about something because of them. There's no need to be, because you're the one in control. But if it's a real problem, like if it's really affecting you in a bad way, then I'd I would say try and get proper help for it. If I'm being honest, I didn't. I had to work through all of that just with my own determination and with my friends and the stuff I love to keep me going until eventually I got my act together, got myself into a better mental state, and I'm myself again. I'm happy now. It's all good now. So that was just kind of the point of this. Sorry, I didn't L to you by accident. That's just kind of the point of this video. When you go through something, at least it helps you grow, and you can use it to eventually help people. And I think you should do that by however you can. And as I said, even if no one watches this, it's all right. I just trying to help at least. And even if it helps one person anyway, in a little way, I'd be really, really happy about that. So I'm hoping it does. As with everything, go by what you feel. Everyone has their own way, their own methods of dealing with everything. And it's important that you do it your way, in your own pace. Take your time, do what you think is right. It's good to take tips, but make sure you're doing it your way, because that's the only real way. You can get help, you can get guidance from the outside, but you can only really help yourself. That's what I did. I got guidance, I got help from everyone, but all of that, I did that by myself. So you can only really ever help yourself with stuff like this. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. Never let this stuff stop you from being yourself, being happy, doing what you enjoy, doing what's right, and having fun, because you deserve all of that, no matter who you are, what it's made you believe. You decide who you want to be. You can be whoever you want to be, and just you'll learn from it. You'll be better. You'll be grown because of it, and then you can use it to help people. So yeah, if you're going through something, I hope it'll last as short as possible. And don't worry, because from experience I know everything will always turn out fine. So please don't worry, and have a wonderful day. Bye.